The new phone on the block. Apple has unveiled its iPhone 11 series. It boasts a bigger and better camera with a new selfie function. For more on this, I'm joined by Toby Shapshak, editor of Stuff magazine. Good morning.
Well, there's a new word for you, a selfie.
I know, in fact, the producer had to tell me in my ear. I was like, slow-fi, slow flu, okay, selfie.
So it's a selfie, but it's kind of like a slow motion selfie. So you throw your hair, you and I both, with our long hair,
with our thick hair,
and it does a slow motion version. It's interesting because that's hardly the thing I would pick out of the new iPhone range. Of course, the usual clamour of hype and activity around the launch of the iPhone. Spectacular devices, but all of them are. I mean, the iPhone, of course, is the leader in so many people's consciousness about what a phone is. It now has 3 cameras on the back. There are 3 models, again, the iPhone 11, which is the entry level, then the iPhone Pro and the iPhone Pro Max. I have what's now called the iPhone Pro. 3 cameras, amazing picture quality, a normal camera, a wide camera, and an ultra-wide camera. So we can get really wide, really generous photographs, faster processor, very slick design. They come out in a midnight green. I think that's the color I would want. And an evolution in the background about what Apple's doing, because it was a launch event. They launched the 3 new phones. They launched a new Apple Watch. I may actually get one because I've got a built-in compass. I have to say I'm a bit of a compass nerd. I have a compass with me whenever I travel. I'm very excited by that. And they are phasing out the very original sized iPad, the 9.7 inch, and they're bringing in a 10.2 inch. But they also announced Apple TV Plus, a streaming service, and an arcade game. And it's interesting, the streaming services is exploding. There used to only be Netflix, then came Showmax. Now just about everybody has their own streaming service. All the major
it's going to cost more for all of us, isn't it?
Exactly, all the major broadcasters. I mean, that's a whole separate story, but it's interesting. All the rights holders are coming out with their own television offering. Going to be very expensive. But back to the iPhone, a very slick, very beautiful design as always. Faster facial recognition.
Sorry, that must be my mum.
Yes, hi Ma.
Hi Mum. Sorry, but I don't know why my phone's not working. This is an Apple phone. It's not working.
And we are, we're looking at, a lot of these features have been in other manufacturers, but of course people look to Apple for this kind of thing. And of course, the quality of the photograph is what Apple's looking for. Very spectacularly beautiful photographs. The phone has been upgraded. It's got a faster processor, more RAM, beautiful screen. It's the kind of lustful launch that we've come to know from Apple.
And they always keep you there because you always want to move away because you feel as though you're in their grip. Let's move to Uber, though. Tell us
Indeed. Well, very interesting ruling in California, Uber and Lyft. So the idea behind the gig economy is that you don't call someone an employee, you call them a partner. Well, they're not a partner, and I've argued about this from the very beginning. They are people who, in the past, if you have a job, right, you get a whole bunch of things from the company to do your job. You get health insurance, you get the tools to do the job, a car to drive, the car insurance, the petrol money, etc., etc. And as a result, the company that employs you gives you benefits. They give you employment, they give you leave, they give you health insurance, they give you sick leave, etc., etc. What the gig economy has done is turn that all on the head, and it's transferred the onus from the company that's providing the employment to the partner. So this guy who's driving this car behind us, if he doesn't own it, somebody else does, but he's responsible for the buying of the car, the maintenance costs, the paying it back, the insurance, the petrol. So all that does is make the costs for the company hiring partners significantly lighter, because you don't have a total cost to company. You just have a percentage of how much work they do, and they get a percentage of the fees that Uber charges.
Okay.
I've thought that's a huge con. And it's interesting that the rest of the world and the legislators are starting to say that's not the case. People work, they are employees, and therefore they are deserving of certain benefits and other services. So I think that's a big development, and I think we're going to see more of this around the world, where legislatures and courts are starting to acknowledge that people working in the gig economy are employees, even if the nature of the employment contractors has radically evolved.
And Stuff Magazine is where they can find out more, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Toby, thank you very much. Let's check in.
Stuff.co.za.